Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5:30 to 6 p.m. session of the 2022 Open Simulator Community Conference. In this session, we are pleased to introduce the presentation, Arts Across the Digital Divide. Our guest speakers are Nyx Breen and Veritas McMaster. Nyx customizes interactive platforms on private platforms addressing educational, cultural, and art-based creative environments. We are pleased to have these two talented artists and curators here presenting today. Please check out the website found at conference.opensimulator.org for speaker bios, details of the sessions, and the full schedule of events. Now, this session is being live streamed and recorded, so if you have questions or comments during the session, you may send tweets to @OpenSimCC with the hashtag #OSCC22. Welcome, everyone. Let's begin the session.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone, to the OSCC. Barry and I are very happy to have everyone here. I think I may have to take my speakeasy HUD off. It doesn't want to do it. Give me one sec.
Yes, that's no worries.
I'm going to go back and get it again.
Well, you don't have to worry with it. If it's having an error, just go right ahead and share your content.
Well, then I've got to go get it from another place.
One way to do is open the note card. It's called Speak Me.
I'm looking for that. You should check this one along with the other one.
And while you're doing that, I'll let the audience know that you can visit their booth in the OSCC Expo Zone 3 region for more content.
One second, getting a little bit of a lag.
And while we're waiting, Veritas, do you want to talk about your work for just a moment?
Yes, I sure could. Go ahead and do my section now. We've only got 5 minutes for my part, so I would ask that any questions you have, you wait until the end of Nyx's presentation to ask them. And we'll only be covering the highlights. Go ahead, honey.
All right, hang on. I've got it pulled up. I'm not going to have the Speak Me work. All right, I'd like to say hello and welcome. My name is Nyx Breen, and I've been an artist in virtual worlds since 2005 and an artist in First Life for over 35 years. Currently, I create 3D artscapes in virtual worlds, basically an interactive, immersive experience where your avatar goes into pieces of arts. Anyone that took the Hypergrid Safari tour got a chance to see that today. I'm a real life, an active member of 2 art communities in Boston, and a curator of immersive digital art for multiple galleries. I helped found the Public Art Commission of my city and now sit as a board member on it. What I'd like to do is talk about the opportunities available to utilize virtual art creations in real-life art markets of 2020. I'm outlining the current real-life effects of the arts have on us and comparing this data to virtual worlds, highlighting comparisons, opportunities, and challenges with crossing digital creations through to the real world. So what I want to do is explore what the digital divide is. The arts encourage social interaction, strengthen community ties, and advance economic development, and attract an interactive, educated workforce, businesses, and creatives on both sides of the digital divide. To take a look at the positive dynamics of how art contributes to community cohesion, you'll see that art enhances understanding, capacity for action, creativity, to forming and retaining identity, modifying values and preferences for collective choice, build social cohesion, contribute to community development, and foster civil participation. Correlation between art participation and motivations and practices are substantial and consistent. Art-making experiences encourage civic engagement more than the experience as an audience member alone. However, some art experience in some settings generate social capital directly. Art experiences during adolescence are particularly influential to people who have built identities around civic engagement and often credit arts experience as significant to their development. Based on the American for the Arts Social Impact Study, 72% of Americans believe the arts unify communities regardless of age, race, and ethnicity. 73% agree the arts help me understand other cultures better. 69% of the population believe the arts lift me beyond everyday experiences. 73% feel the arts give them a pleasure to the experience and to participate in, and 81% say that the arts are a positive experience in their basic troubled world. So if you take a look at the economics of arts and culture, the arts strengthens the communities economically. The art and culture sector is a $730 billion industry, representing 4.2% of the nation's GDP, a larger economic share than transportation, tourism, and agriculture combined. The nonprofit art industry generates $135 billion in economic activity annually. Spending by organizations and their audiences supports 4.1 million jobs and generates $22.3 billion in $24.60 per person per event, beyond the cost of administration of items such as meals, parking, babysitting, variable revenue for local commerce and community. Arts are an export industry. According to the BEA, the arts and culture industry posted a $30 billion international trade surplus back in 2014, while U.S. exports of arts goods, namely movies, paintings, jewelry, exceed over $60 billion. That's based on the AmericanForTheArts.org. So what I want you to notice is that movies, which are a digital format that we sort of lead the world in, are sold worldwide. The takeaway from the data is that there's an opportunity for virtual digital creations to participate in this market. The challenge is the inherent lack of knowledge, skill sets, and bias on both sides of the digital divide. Multiple competencies in marketing, technology, and practicing real-life artists are required to successfully show and virtually be able to sell virtual art in real-world markets. So the first step to determine the results, and this is based on what I went through in a virtual world, crossing it over into a real-life setting, into galleries in the city of Boston, where art was sold that was digital. I took in is you need to determine the results of you and your organization and what you want from applying a virtual crossover application with your current model that you're using, incorporating customization into marketing, technology, and real-life artists involved with the project. What this means to you is that the studying, understanding, and initiating this endeavor with knowledgeable, motivated individuals leads to success. All right, what I'd like to do is pass it over to Veri. Let her talk a little bit about marketing, and most of what we're talking about today is 101 stuff. Veri, thank you very much. You're up.
Thank you, Nyx. Art marketing is a systemized process of creating awareness and interest for an artist or an artwork, leading to a desire to engage others to own the products. Marketing communicates the offerings, promotes the brand, identifies new prospects, and strengthens bonds with existing customers. The basics of marketing are the same in real or virtual worlds, as well as for any field or product. The art of marketing comes in how it's tailored to you, to your product, and to your customers. The first thing that you want to do is research the market, identifying your target audiences and where they gather or get their information. Then develop a strategy, set your goals, make a business plan and a marketing plan, personalize your marketing. Most of the marketing in virtual worlds is going to be in text, and so engaging your audience emotionally, which is advisable, can be more challenging. Some tips on how to do this are to speak as if you are, to write as if you're speaking to just one person. Use stories and focus on the benefits to that person. Share information on the artist or the artwork and the benefits that others have gained. To market in virtual worlds, it's advisable to build a brand for the artist and for the marketing. In world, I kind of backed into it. I had a group called Various Vagaries, and even though marketing isn't my field, I used it in my business and philanthropic endeavors. But I found that my skill set that had the most utility in virtual worlds was networking. So I had this group, and then I expanded it by networking as I explored other grids, came into Open Sims. In-world marketing is done through group notices, group websites, event calendars, online magazines, ad boards, and through announcements at community meetings, events, and gatherings. Blogs are used widely in world. If you don't have one, or if it's not well followed, engage with bloggers who do have a wide reach to get your product covered. Sending note cards as invitations to events and sending TPs at the start of an event can get results. Word of mouth may be your most effective tool. Seek tie-ins and conversations to share your event. Find, join, and use all the formats your target groups use. For instance, your grid may have a Facebook or a Discord channel. I do network by attending events, finding people and groups who are doing the same, watching trends, learning, researching, and testing. Social media is the main format for marketing. And let's see here. We have some slides. We're not going to go through them. Oh, and they're not working.
Yeah, the re-add.
Yeah, well, the slides aren't really important. We weren't going to go through them, but there's a box up here on stage that you can right-click, take a copy of, and it has the slides in them. There's only one slide that I really wanted to point out, and that is the age demographics. There's two age groups that can be really important for us in virtual worlds. One is the baby boomers, who's still a significant, large part of the population. And the other and most important is the younger demographics. In one of those graphs, you'll see a 20 to 29 year old age group. That group and younger are going to be vital for us in Open Sims to thrive. So anything we can do to draw that population here, I strongly support and encourage. Create a network of patrons, supporters, and past customers, and then stay in touch with them. Expand your network through leads, meeting new people, and interacting. Build a community. Host events to showcase your art or artists. Integrate virtual and real world art at exhibits, as Nyx does. Use music, dance, and other activities as ways to engage patrons with the arts. Continually assess your impact and effectiveness. Gather input and then note what works. Get rid of what doesn't. Professionalism, consistency, repetition, management, and oversight will be important to your success. Use every marketing source you can find. Seek and test new sources and keep doing it. Every step, whether or not you see immediate results, you'll be building your brand and your name recognition. And in closing, I'd like to thank you and let me invite you to Nyx's current exhibition called Immersive One at Pangea. And please take a box on the stage. There's one in front of my podium and his. And thank you very much. Back to you, Nyx.
Thank you, Veri, for look at virtual and social media applications to facilitate the transfer of art across the digital divide. I'm going to bang the speakeasy and get all the first section out. Give me a second on that, please. At least it'll be in your chat if you want to see it till I get to the second part. Almost there. Thank you for bearing with us. This is new, and I didn't know that I should have reloaded the HUD before I came on. I've actually been wearing it for 2 days, not wanting to make any mistakes with it. All right, we're almost there. Hang on. All righty, we're back to where we need to be. All right. An ingrained art perception, the need for more skill sets in technology, and effective marketing of this unique product challenged the growing prospects of digitally produced art from the virtual worlds crossing into mainstream markets. Numerous attempts in related formats have produced preliminary results from NFTs, machinimas, and tries to develop easy access virtual platform experiences. Hyper-focus frontage limits positive exposure and integration into the contemporary art market. Top-down commerce results in selective demands associated with the celebrity culture and the evolution of immersive style curated art events have indicated financially and culturally positive models. The collaboration of artist, curator, and patrons allows for an integrated development of this emerging art form. It demonstrates that art for the sake of art itself and the associated experiences of acceptance and ownership yields more significant influences on sponsors and consumers. Finally, social engagement nourishes the stimulus for approval into the burgeoning domain of the arts sector. Introducing virtualized arts with dynamic experiences cultivates media awareness and monetization potential. What Very did on the internal part of this equation, the virtual world, was to create a buzz. I was able to take that and get bloggers to recognize me, virtual magazines to get to recognize me, and create a buzz that I was able to take and transfer over to the real life side and show individuals that this is what can be done. So by applying compelling storyboarding to all engaged is critical. However, co-mixing perspectives across several spheres of influence results in potential and critical decision points. Dedicated initial efforts to create virtual media of attention, communicating virtual to real life media, develops opportunity for real life art openings. Digital format display and gallery logistics infrastructure are critical. Artists, curators, and gallery community business creative models define potential possibilities and challenges. Engagement with artistic community and patron provides the last crucial metrics in this equation. Exhibiting virtual art is a new experience for many, yet it is a familiar concept based on the technology and ingrained dynamics associated with the art world. As a result, unique concept approaches and experiences are acceptable within the grounds of digital art programming. This format and approach provides community shared experiences across multiple demographics and fields. Virtual images and machinimas display at galleries provide a transitional experience for new and traditional audiences. VR headsets and 3D printing, emerging possibilities with a divisive inducement factor, and the process can be applied to multiple products and campaigns using a similar procedure with hyper-gridding marketing. So what I'm going to do is show a couple of slides. All right, now that's old me in real life. I'm a professional fine arts photographer, and I take and delve into a bunch of different things. And one of the things I've been really into is street photography. So sometimes I'm out doing pre-production looking for things. And I shot this reflective image of a bar. And when I noticed that I had a Day of the Dead figure over my right shoulder, and the color scheme in the reflection of the setup where liquor would go in the bar, it gave me the idea that maybe I could do a real life thing based on that photo. And what I came up with was for Dreams of the Dead, Soneros de Muertos. This was held over on the Pangea Sim. I want to thank Marlon. I want to thank Lampethal Artist. They have supported me strongly and allowed me to do this. So what I do is I build three-dimensional art pieces that go anywhere from several hundred meters across to over at Pangea. They're on a 4x4 VAR. So some of the prims are 1,024 meters long, and you go inside of the art and explore it. So the basic deal is it's immersive 3D artscape. This is called data streams. There are moving textures on the prims. There are alpha textures. There are no particles. I use a lot of alpha bleed effects so that when you're inside there's always something going on with it. An external view from outside looking in. This is a 60 by 60 meter by about 800 meter tall piece of art. And then finally, if you cam back far enough out at 1,000 distance, this is about one of 20 floating art pieces that are over the 8FXM in immersive build developments into 4x4 VAR creations. And then finally, I've got a close-up where we're actually inside of this, and this is moving around. I had statements made that you could come and look at my piece for 5 seconds. If it's too much, you go. 5 minutes, if you really liked it, you could stay there for 50 minutes or 5 hours just exploring what it is. So I developed this. Very helped me with the push internally. I took all the data, information, the videos, the links, all of it, and brought it over to my side of what I do in real life and presented it to the Fort Point art community, which I'm a member of, and they took and looked at this and were blown away. What we do is we project onto the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and 2 glass walls. One's 35 foot long by 18 foot high. Another is 28 foot long by 18 foot high. And we have material on our glass that you can project onto so you see it from the inside and the outside. We turn the lights down. We open up the drinks and the music, and we take and enjoy it. So here I am. You could see a projection in the backside. I want to thank you very much for your time. And if you have questions, please in chat, give them out or contact Barry or I, and we'll be glad to give you them answers.
What a fantastic session. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Barry, did you want to say something for just a moment and then we'll cut?
Thank you very much. It's been a joy.
Wonderful. And as a reminder to our audience, you will want to check out the conference.opensimulator.org to see what is coming up on the conference schedule. You won't want to miss our next session, which begins at 6 p.m. in this keynote region, and it's entitled, What Do Students and Teachers Do at the Metaverse? Also, we encourage you to visit the OSCC22 Poster Expo at the OSCC Expo 3 region to find accompanying information on our presenters and to explore the hypergrid resources in OSCC Expo 2, along with the sponsor and the crowdfunder booths located throughout all of the OSCC Expo regions. Thank you again to our speakers and to the audience.